Hello, my name is Civil. You might have seen me around on Twitter for the recent tweet I did with this thing. For those coming in and don't know what that is my daily redeem over my Twitch channel. I call it the daily item please. And what it basically is a way for your chat to interact and to get a really cool item as they redeem their daily login. It's just a fun way to add a little bit of spice to it. Once I got this little redeem up and ready on Twitter, a lot of you guys reacted to it in a very positive manner. I have people liking it, retweeting it, I had people bookmarking it, and I had a few of you guys comment as well. A few of you guys also asking, Sybil, how did you do this? So for today's video, I'm going to show you guys how did I set this up with the help of MixItUp. With that said, let's do it! Now before we begin, we're going to need the following resources. You're going to need MixItUpBot installed. You will need a bunch of image PNGs from either a video game you like or what you want to use for your redeem. And then finally, you're gonna need a program that can do text sources. For this tutorial, I will be using Notepad, which should be on any Windows. The first step that you want to do is grab your image PNGs for your redeems. Now, the reason why I said PNGs is because you want them to have a transparent background. So what I use for my redeems is I use a website called Spider Resource. Spider's Resource is a website where they upload video game assets. So things like sprites, backgrounds, items. As you can tell right here, I have the Atelier Ryza 2 assets on here. This is a sheet. However, if you guys want to download the items individually, look out for the files that have the zip folder on them, because they should have them individually in here. And also, if you do use this website, please do credit they're using this website just so they get the credit they deserve. I'll put their link in my description. Anything I use in this video as well as anything I use in my redeem, they'll be in the description down below in this video. Once you have downloaded your image PNGs for your redeems, you want to put them into a folder. Put it somewhere where you can find it easily at. And once you've put all your images into this folder, you're going to want to start renaming each image to what you want to be called. Because if you don't, they're going to be called the default names that the download file has, and I'll make it very difficult for the later steps. So for example, what it did for me was that I renamed all my images based on what they are in the Atelier games. So like Amberlight, Arkanseal, Axe, Beehive, etc. You want to name them as concise as possible, and make sure to keep an eye on the capitalization and spacing, as it'll be essential for the next step. Once you have renamed all of your image PNGs to what you want to be called, we're going to open up our text source program. Again, what I'm going to be using is Notepad. So in the Notepad new file, what you want to do is start listing all of the image names. So for example, we started with Amberlight. We're going to type out Amberlight. And again, like I mentioned in the previous step, capitalization and spacing is mandatory. If you put a minor mistake, if you spell it wrong, or there's a lowercase, this Notepad file will not read images in your folder. And again, this is essential because if they cannot read, it won't be recognized. So make sure to keep an eye on your capitalization and spelling, just so that way it can read better. Now, once you're done with one item, once you're done with naming one, you're going to want to press Enter, make a new row, and then type the next item. This is essential so it separates each line of text. So once you have written out your list of all the item names in that folder, you're going to want to save the text file into the same folder as all the item PNGs you have. Once you have your image PNGs and text files saved in one folder, we can now move on to the next step, which is opening up our MixItUp program. So now that we have MixItUp open and ready, we can start making our daily redeem. Now I will make a separate time step on how to add a counter to your daily redeem, but for this part, we're just going to do the redeem itself. So how do we make a redeem in MixItUp? For first-time users of MixItUpBot, what you want to do is go to the top 3 bars right here in the top left corner, select it, go down the tabs, and you want to select Twitch channel points. Now once you get here, you're going to see 3 buttons on the bottom. Add command to existing reward, create new channel point reward, and then channel points editor. Since we're going to make a new one from scratch, you want to click on the middle button. From here, you want to name it to what your daily redeem wants to be. In which case for this video, we'll call it daily login, correct? And then now if it should say channel point reward successfully created. Once you see that okay, select it. And when you go click on group, you should see daily login created. So from here, you want to go over to the buttons right here. So play button means to test the command out. This middle button means to edit command. And this last button means to delete the command if you don't want it anymore. So if we want to edit our new command, we want to click on this middle button right here. Once we open it, it will open up the command editor stage. So this is where we're going to start putting in our actions. So what are actions? Actions are basically the things used to run the command. So if you want to run images and videos, sound, if you want MixItUp to send a chat to the chat while you're streaming, it can. This is where it all begins. So to make a daily redeem on here, what you're going to do is add the following actions. You want to add the actions file, read, and write. You want to add that one in, minimize it. And then you want to add in 2 of the overlay image and video actions. You want to add 2 of them, keep in mind. Now the reason why we're adding 2 is because one we're going to be using to read the text, to show text on the screen. And the other one will be the image to demonstrate the image of our redeem. To begin, we're going to mess with our file, read, and write action first. So we're going to open it up. And then in the actions section, we're going to change it from save to file to read random line from file. So the reason why we're choosing read random line from file is so when it reads the text source file, it'll choose it randomly, giving a little bit of spice and a little bit of an unexpected surprise when people redeem from the daily redeem. Once you selected your action and file path where the text source is located, you then want to put in a special identifier name for it. It can be anything you want it to be called, but just know this will be essential for the next 2 steps. So for the sake of this video, we'll call it A as a special indicator. The next step is setting up your images for your daily redeem. So we're at this step, you want to go to actions and you want to select images. So that way your image will show up when you click on the redeem. The overlay endpoints is default, just leave that as that. And then we're going to move on to the image file path /URL. The next step we want to do is fill out the image file path /URL. Basically, we're trying to locate where the folder is. Now, the easiest way of doing this is that you want to go back to your folder where the images are located. You want to go select the folder up in the address area, right click, and select copy address as text. Now, once that is settled, you want to go back to your command editor. You want to click on the image file path /URL, and you want to paste that path into this text box. And this step is very essential. What you want to do is at the end of the text URL, you want to put another slash, and you want to put in this following. You want to put in the $, and whatever text you use as the special indicator name. So in this case for the video, we put A. So we're going to put A, and then we're going to put a period, and end it off with PNG. That way, again, our images will read as a PNG for anything that's in that folder. It'll read as a PNG transparent background file. Now this next step is up to preference. Basically what you have here on the left, you have something called screen position. What this means is, where do you want this to show up on your screen? Do you want to show up on the top left? You want to show up in the center? Do you want to show up on the bottom center? This is where you can position where you want it to show up at. This is more so if you want it in a specific area. But if you want to be more specific on your redeem to pop up at, I highly recommend using percentage. Percentage will show the percentage where you want it to appear from the left, from the top, and if you want it to appear from behind or above something. So to the right as screen position, you're going to have something that says duration seconds, entrance animation, exit animation, and lastly visible animation. These are very straight to the point. Basically, this is where if you want to set up the redeem to come in with a little bit of flair, you can add the animation, like say I want the redeem to come bouncing in from up. I want it to come lightning speed in. This is where you can add in those animations. And it applies the same way for the ending animations as well if you wanted to slide out in a specific direction. It is mandatory to do add a duration of seconds because obviously if you don't add it, how's it going to be seen? So you can add it for as long as if you want the redeem to show up for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Try it out and see. Luckily, it does give you the option on the bottom to test out your commands beforehand. So if you don't like 3 seconds, you can play it, see like, oh, I don't like it. Then you can move it back to 1 second. So test it out and see whatever you guys want. And yeah, the next overlay image and video action I'm going to be working on is the text. As you can tell, it's already set up for us, so we don't have to worry about setting up our action and overlay endpoints. We can leave that as it is. What is really essential though is the text. What you want to put in here is the special identifier we did back in file, read, and write. So again, our special identifier name is A. So what we want to do is that we want to do the $, to indicate it's an identifier, and we're going to put the letter A. From here on, it's the exact same thing as the previous step. So once we have a command up and ready, we went to go do our durations. We added exit and exit animations for both of them. We made sure to edit the size and pixel of the text, change the color, font, everything you wanted to customize in. We can now press the bottom button, press test command, And don't have to worry about any of these. We're not going to worry about that. Just press test command here, and then there you have it. It's popping up on screen. You can see the text right there. You can see the piece of meat. So it means our command is working. Again, if there's something you don't like about it, if you don't like the animation, if you don't like the positioning of it, you can change wherever you want to put it. So say I'm like, ew, I don't want it over there. I'm going to move it to say the bottom corner, right? The bottom left corner. So I'm going to press those, press the test command again, press it up twice. And there you go. It changed from being up there to down here. Just a heads up as well. I made this same mistake before, but when you're testing out your daily redeem, don't test them via action. Like, don't press these individually. You want to test the command as a whole, because if you press the action individually as not as a whole, it's like, say for example, I want to test it. I want to test to make sure the text is popping up as so. I press this. For some reason, it's only popping up as the special indicator, but not as the text in the file. That is because these two overlay actions are co-hand with the file read and write action. Because it's not reading it, that's why it is not popping up. So if you want to run your commands, make sure to run the command entirely, or else you're going to run into issues. As so. Now do keep in mind, this is just a basic format on how to set up the daily redeem. If you guys want to add a little bit more flair to it, like for mine, I add in a sound. You're more than welcome to add in sounds and extra images, like the sign on the back of yours. Maybe add in something else to be happening on your screen as well. You are more than welcome to. Again, this is just a basic format on how to set it up. So once you double check everything, you made sure that the redeem looks okay, you made sure that everything has its duration, animation, you made sure to check if everything is where you want it to be. You can now press the bottom button, which looks like a floppy disk. That is how you're going to save your command. Now, if you just press the upper right corner, just press X and think you're done, it will not save your command. So you want to make sure to save it if you wanted to save all your progress. So you want to press save. And now when you go back to your daily login redeem, if you want to click on edit, it should show up all the previous progress you have saved. So now you don't have to worry about, losing any progress you had. With that said, that is how you make your daily item redeem. Congratulations, you made it. Now this step is for my people who want to add a counter to their daily redeem. So in order to do that, we're going to start here at our basic area. You want to click on the top 3 lines over here on the top left corner. You want to go down to currency, rank, and inventory and select it. And then from here, you want to go down to the bottom where these 2 buttons are at. And you want to select add inventory. Now from here, this is where you're going to want to add what you want your daily redeem currency / item to be called. So in this case, it is called the daily login. So we're going to do daily login. So from there, as you see to the right of it, you have something called the default max amount. Now what this means is that this is basically the max amount of how many times that they can collect the daily login / counter for. So in this case, it says 99. So once you use 99, the numbers are going to go past that for how many times people will claim the daily login. Because we wanted to claim more than 99 times, we're going to add, say, a 9. Another 9. Let's just add 2 more 9s. And now we have 999,999 for the default max amount that the count is going to go up to. And then from there, you want to go to the item list. And you want to name it, say, whatever you want the item to be called. In my case, I'm just going to call it the same exact thing as my inventory, which is daily login. It's just more easier to make it more concise. Don't worry about max amount, buy price, and sell price. These are all here in case you guys want to enable the extra features for the inventory, like shop and trade. But for the sake of this being a counter, we're going to leave those as it is. Once you're done with that, you want to click on add item. Don't click on select. It's not going to let you. So click on add item. So now we have our item name on here. Now keep in mind, it does give us a special identifier name. So you want to remember what it's called. So ours is called daily login. Remember that name. Remember that. So once you have all that settled, you want to press the save button now on the bottom. And now we can move on to back to our redeem. So we're back at our daily login / daily redeem command editor. We reopened it. As you can tell, our 3 actions are still here. But what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 more. We're going to add 2 more actions. So you want to go down to the bottom left to the actions area, select it, and the 2 actions you're going to need for the counter is you're going to need the consumable, currency rate, etc. action, select it. We're going to minimize it. And then if you want this to send a message to chat to show how many times somebody's redeemed the redeem for, you're gonna select the chat message. So to make those two actions here, to make it more organized, we want to move it above everything else. So you see these buttons right here, there's the test command, you see these up and down ones. What these mean is that, say for example, we want to move these to the top, select the up button, and it'll move the action up above the list. So now moving our consumable action all the way to the top. And we're going to do the exact same thing for our chat message as well. Again, this is just for consistency. If you guys don't want to do this step, it's optional. I just like having my stuff on the top, just so that way it's separated from the stuff that's going to happen on screen. So from here, we're going to start with our consumables. Basic consumables is everything that happened at that currency rank inventory tab. So we're going to maximize it. And as you can see, it says consumables. Since we're going to use this for a daily login, we're going to click here and select daily login. And because we wanted to add as somebody redeems it, we're going to leave it on add to user. Now there's also other options as well, such as subtract from user, add to a specific user, add to all chat users. Basically, this is a way if you guys want to add extra numbers to everybody, you can. And also if somebody somebody messed up, they added too much to their redeem, there is a reset for all users action as well. If you say, oh no, I want to start anew, this is the action if you want to reset everything from scratch. But we don't want to do that. We want to add to a user. So we're going to put add user. If we want to do for item name, we already named it as daily login. So we're going to do daily login as the add item name. And again, if you want to give them say, hey, you checked in for 1 time, you checked in again, that's 2 times. If you want to do it by +1, just leave it at 1. If you want to give them say hey, you logged in, you get 2, here you go, you get 2, the next day you get 4. Basically, it's like a multiplier on how many times you get your daily login / daily redeem for. But for the sake of, for this video, we're going to put just 1. The next thing we're going to do now is set up our chat message. This is how we're going to send to chat how many times they redeem the daily login. Now, if you want to know how to use special identifiers, like how to make it say their username specifically, how to make it say something else, MixItUp does offer you a link for special identifier references if you guys need a reference of what you want. For the sake of video, I'll help make it very straightforward. So you want to start with, say, $bill for identifier, the $bill sign, and username. So this will read the username of whoever redeems it. So say username has just logged in. So we can leave it simple like that. That is how you can say, hi, say Billy has just logged in. So now they'll read Billy's username and say Billy has just logged in. If you guys want to add in so it reads the counter as well, it's a little bit weird. But what you want to do is write $bill, user, and again, this is going to be your special, this is going to be your consumable / item name. So, aka the special identifier. So we put in, again, we put daily login. So we're going to type in daily login. And now say we're oh, okay, that looks fine. We're good to go. Nothing to worry about. Pop up our chat box and be like, hey, let's see if it works. Boom. As you can tell, it says here, oh, Silver14 just logged in. Yay, it says my username. But it says, oh, $bill, user daily login. Something doesn't look right. It's not counting my thing. Huh. So what you want to do is that we can't leave it like that, unfortunately. What you have to do is you actually have to add your daily login special identifier twice. So you want to put user daily login, and you want to put it in again, daily login twice. And again, that looks weird, looks like it might not work, but trust the process, it will work. And let's make it sound a bit more smoother. So let's say they just logged in, they have come to stream that many times, right? So we'll leave it like that, and we're gonna test it again to make sure it's working. So we want to test it, and there we go. Silver14 is just logged in. They have come to stream 0 time. So we're gonna add time so it sounds more clear, but it works. It works now. It does say 0. Because the reason why it does say 0 is because, again, I'm only testing it by the individual action. I have to make it run with the entire command. So with that, let us move these over. Let me minimize this. And now let's run the entire command, shall we? We're gonna press our test command button all the way in the bottom. Press test command, and There you go. We got our image popping up. We got the lettering as well. And chat has successfully counted our one check-in. With everything completed and done, we can now save our entire command. And that is how you add a counter to your daily redeem. And that is how you set up a daily redeem with a little bit of flair with MixItUp on your own stream. I do apologize, this is a way longer video than I intended it to be. However, each step is basically essential and I try to make it as fast as possible, but also as understandable for you all if I could. But also, I just want to acknowledge a big thank you to the MixItUp community. If you guys have not already, if you guys have any issues with your MixItUp, if there's any problems with your redeem, I would highly recommend joining the MixItUp Discord server. I'll put a link to the Discord server into the description. But if you guys want to join as well, do follow their Twitter. They should have a link on there as well. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, they do offer a support channel. If it was not for the MixItUp Discord server, I would not have been able to ask for help on how to set up my idea. When I pitched my idea to the Discord server of MixItUp in the support area, again, amazing big shout out to SaviourXTerran, one of the developers of MixItUp, who reached out and helped me step by step on how we can go through with this. They helped me out with the issues that we went through. They helped me make sure it looked okay. So they are an amazing community again. For the next video, I'll try to set up how I made my raid as well because people are also interested too. If you guys are interested, do let me know in the comments, like this video, because I don't know how many people wanted the raid more than a daily redeem. But if you guys are interested in how I did my raids, let me know in the comments below and I will try to set something up. With that said, that is your fellow alchemist, Level 14 done with my video. Hope to see you guys next time. Also, Civil, Jane. So once you've written out your risk, hold on.